going to look at common factoring, just recapping what that is. So when you have some sort of polynomial expression, sometimes you're able to divide out or common factor out a number, a variable, or both. So that's what we're going to look at here. So in the first example, we have 5x plus 10. So if we want a common factor, we just need to double check, is there a number or variable that we can divide into both of those terms? So we have 5 and 10. So something like the number 5 itself, 5x divided by 5, that's able to be done. And 10 is able to be divided by 5. So you can divide both the terms by 5, and I'll just write the answer to that. 5x divided by 5 is just x. And so we can rewrite this as, well, the number that we're factoring out. So our common factor, I'll just write that above. Common factor is 5. We write that in front, and then we have brackets. Then what we write inside of the brackets is, in a sense, the leftover parts. What do we get after we divide by 5? And that's what we had written off to the side. So 5x is just left with x, and 10 is just left with 2. So we can common factor to get 5 times x plus 2. Okay, let's try the next one. So 3x cubed plus 4x squared y plus 2x. So in this case, first of all, check, is there any number that you can divide each of those terms by? Well, 2, 3, and 4, you can't divide them all by the same number. But what you'll see is in each of the terms, we have an x and different exponents of x. So we can actually divide out or have a common factor of x. So let's try this out. So first, we write down the common factor, the x, and then we write the next part in brackets. That's kind of what's left over. And then we just have to see what happens if we were to divide by x each of those terms. So 3x cubed divided by x, all you're doing is, in a sense, taking away one of those x's from the exponent. So you're just left with 3x squared. So the exponent of 3 goes down to 2. Similarly, if you have 4x squared y over x again, 1 goes away from the exponent of x, so you're just left with 4xy. So plus 4xy. And the last one, plus 2x. Well, when we remove one of the x's, as in divide it out, you're just left with 2. And so that's what you'd have after common factoring. The last part, we can not only just common factor out a single number, a single variable, but if you have combinations of them, or if you have parts and brackets, you can also divide those out. So like in this example here, you can see we have an x plus 1 on the 4 and an x plus 1 on the 3. That can be common factored. And so if that's our common factor, well, what that means is we could write that out, let's say at the front. Let's keep it in brackets, and then write what the leftovers are. So inside the next set of brackets, in the first part, we had 4x plus 1. Well, now we just have the 4 as the leftover part. Continuing along, we have minus 3x plus 1, but we've factored out the x plus 1, so we're just left with minus 3. And so that would be our factored form there. And you could also see in this case, you could simplify 4 minus 3 just to get x plus 1 times, well, 1. And that's a look at common factoring.